What if I told you that one UFC star literally came back from the dead, not once, but 4 times, and is now jogging again after a double lung transplant? Or that another legend just got knocked out in such brutal fashion that even Michael Bisping is begging him to retire?
Rockhold is down and he is fast asleep. He's out cold.
Today we're diving into some of the wildest stories in MMA right now. Ben Askren's shocking recovery, Colby Covington making an influencer puke on stream, Rampage Jackson stirring up chaos once again, and an emotional update on Syko Stu after his terrifying hospital stay. Stay tuned, because every one of these stories will make you shake your head in disbelief. And if you want more MMA news like this daily, make sure you tap that subscribe button real quick. This might be one of the most incredible comebacks in MMA history, and it didn't even happen inside the cage. Ben Askren, the former UFC fighter known for his funky wrestling style, was rushed to the hospital earlier this year after a vicious battle with pneumonia. His lungs were completely shot, and doctors quickly realized he wouldn't survive without a double lung transplant. He spent nearly 2 months in the hospital, his body weak, his weight dropping by more than 50 pounds. And the scariest part? His heart stopped 4 times. 4 times he flatlined. 4 times he technically died. Askren himself has admitted he remembers none of it. Weeks of his life are just gone, erased like someone hit the delete button. He only pieced the nightmare together later by reading his wife's journal, where she recorded everything while sitting by his hospital bed. Imagine opening a notebook and reading about your own funeral, except you're still alive to turn the page. Fast forward just a few weeks, and Ben posted something nobody thought they'd see, a video of himself jogging.
Look at you, let's go, son.
I thought I could do this, but I didn't try it yet.
Awesome. Okay, have a seat.
What did I get?
15 laps.
Alright, fast as that.
It wasn't flashy, it wasn't fast, but it was a miracle. UFC fighters, fans, and even critics flooded the comments with love and support. For once, the MMA world wasn't divided by trash talk, it was united in pure respect. Askren says he's focused now on enjoying life, being with his family, and coaching the next generation. He may never fight again, but he's showing everyone that survival itself can be the biggest victory. But while Askren's story is about survival, another fighter's story is about stubbornness, and Michael Bisping isn't holding back. If you thought Luke Rockhold's chin couldn't take another shot, think again. And unfortunately, that's exactly the problem. Over the weekend, Rockhold stepped back into the ring against Darren Till. What followed was a nightmare replay of his career's worst moments. Rockhold's hands were low, his chin was high, and the inevitable happened. He got knocked out. Again. Michael Bisping, who knows a thing or two about going to war with Rockhold, didn't mince words. On his podcast, Bisping broke it down brutally. Rockhold still has those bad habits from being a tall kicker. He relies too much on controlling distance. But in boxing range, that defense falls apart completely. Bisping pointed out that Rockhold is now 40, with a history of broken jaws, teeth knocked out, and multiple brutal KOs. At this stage, every knockout isn't just another loss, it's another risk to his long-term health. And the money question? Bisping flat out wondered if Rockhold's continuing because he hasn't managed his finances well enough to walk away. That stings, but coming from a guy who's seen both the highs and lows of the fight game, it might be the most honest assessment yet. And speaking of brutal honesty, Colby Covington doesn't need anyone to tell him when to stop. Instead, he's busy proving why you should never, ever step into a ring with him unless you're ready to suffer. Colby Covington isn't just trash talk, he's pain in motion. Recently, Colby streamed a sparring session with a popular influencer who clearly thought it would be a fun chance to show off. Spoiler, it wasn't. Covington worked the body like a surgeon, dropping heavy shots to the influencer's ribs and gut. At first, the guy tried to play it cool, but after a few combinations, reality hit, literally. He doubled over, gagging, before announcing he was about to throw up. Seconds later, he sprinted out of the ring. Colby, of course, played it off with a smirk, but the message couldn't have been clearer. This isn't a game. You don't casually box a UFC champion, and the internet loved it. Clips went viral across Twitter and TikTok, with fans both mocking the influencer and praising Colby's ruthless precision. For Colby, it's just another day proving that love him or hate him, he's built different. And for the influencer, well, he learned the hard way that clout chasing in the fight game comes with real consequences. But while Colby was making people sick in the gym, Rampage Jackson was making people sick of his drama online. Rampage Jackson has always been one of MMA's wildest personalities, and now he's making headlines again, but not for a fight. During a heated stream, Rampage addressed the chaos surrounding Raja and Syko Stu. According to Rampage, the whole ordeal would have never happened if Stu had just kept his beer can to himself. He insisted it was a real beer can, not a prop, and that alcohol backstage was a huge part of the problem. But he didn't stop there. Rampage also fired back at the MMA guru, who recently brought up Rampage's infamous 2008 police chase. For those who don't know, Rampage was arrested after a bizarre high-speed incident that allegedly injured a pregnant woman who later suffered a miscarriage. Rampage has always denied responsibility, and on stream he doubled down, saying there was no high-speed crash, only a side mirror hit, and that the miscarriage couldn't be tied to the incident. He reminded viewers that he paid his dues with 200 hours of community service, speaking to kids about mistakes and consequences. Still, his tone was defiant, calling Guru an idiot and accusing critics of twisting the facts. As usual, Rampage is dividing the fan base. Some believe his version, others think he's rewriting history. Either way, one thing's clear: Rampage can't stay away from controversy. And that brings us to the final story, the one that might be the most emotional of them all. Just weeks ago, wrestling personality Syko Stu was lying in a hospital bed after a vicious and unexpected backstage attack left him with severe injuries. The details were shocking: fractured jaws, a smashed maxilla, missing teeth, and deep cuts to his lip. Fans feared the worst. But now, there's good news. Syko Stu has officially been released from the hospital. He's back home in recovery, and, according to friends, he's in good spirits. The road ahead won't be easy. He still needs reconstructive work, and the pain is far from gone. But the simple fact that he walked out of the hospital alive is a victory in itself. The MMA and wrestling communities rallied hard behind him. A GoFundMe campaign quickly raised over $200,000 to cover medical costs. Messages of support poured in from fighters, fans, and even rival personalities. And while the LAPD continues investigating Raja Jackson's involvement in the incident, Syko Stu is focusing on healing, not revenge. For fans who watched him struggle, this update is more than just news. It's relief. Relief that one of the sport's most colorful personalities still has fight left in him. From Ben Askren jogging after dying 4 times, to Rockhold's chin once again betraying him, to Colby Covington humiliating an influencer, to Rampage Jackson reopening old wounds, and finally, to Syko Stu walking out of the hospital. These stories remind us why MMA is more than just a sport. It's survival, pride, controversy, and sometimes pure chaos. And that's why fans can't look away. So here's the question for you. Which of these stories hit you the hardest? Was it Askren's miracle comeback, Rockhold's brutal KO, or Syko Stu's emotional release from the hospital? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading everyone. If you enjoyed this roundup and want to stay on top of the wildest moments in combat sports, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Because tomorrow's fight world will always bring something crazier than today, and you won't want to miss it.